This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and today I'm standing right here in Jamaica in front of Arunachal Ashram, which of course is dedicated to sharing the presence and teaching of Bhagwan Raman Maharshi, whose main abode is in Tiruvannamalai. The Arunachal Ashram is considered to be the form of Lord Shiva, and after being enlightened at the age of 16, mostly his life in the physical form was spent there, and he attracted many devotees from far and wide. Many Westerners also visited him even when India was not independent.
Unake namaskaram, unmai param porule Ramana, manakan vilakidum mahakanmaniye, unake namaskaram.
We also got the opportunity of meeting someone today here who was with Bhagwan Raman Maharshi during his lifetime. Going back to your early days, you mentioned about your mother wanted you to seek permission from Bhagwan to join World War II. So set us the time period and the setting. So how was it when you reached there, Tiruvannamalai, for the first time? You were a young man of
18 years old.
18 years only. And what were you doing at that time?
I was studying for engineering. So when I went Bhagwan in the early morning, so he had his breakfast and come back to the seat. Then he asked me first question, you had your breakfast? I could not answer anything because you'll take us to the kitchen and give us more idlis. Then we sat there, he said sit. We sat there for 4 hours, we don't know where we are sitting. But I did not close my eyes because I want to see Bhagwan's eyes. And there were only about 10 people, 5 foreigners and 5 Indians. And he used to look everybody and laugh at us. And his eyes is so powerful, so we cannot see anywhere else. And even my dream, I get Bhagwan, he doesn't shows his face. So it's a great thing to see Bhagwan. Bhagwan is doing all good for people. He never used to get angry at all. He used to play with animals. I used to watch them. And it looks as if he knows all the languages of all the animals. Cow, deer, squirrel, cat, dog, peacock, and cow Lakshmi. And it was a very good experience for me. So I joined the British Army and I traveled all over India. Then I used to get leave somehow when I write religious purposes. Even Britishers won't get leave that much. So every 3 months they used to give me leave and I pass from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and I go and visit Bhagwan. So His grace is always with me. And He has done a lot of things and I have got a very good family. I wish He gives for everybody.
நான் பார்க்கும் பொழுதெல்லாம் என்னுள் இருந்தவை பார்ப்பதோடென்னையும் பார்ப்பவனே ஓயும்படிக்கென்னை உண்ணும் ரமணா உனக்கே நமஸ்காரம்.
And today's Wide Angle is specially dedicated to the life and teaching of Bhagwan Raman Maharshi.
Bhagavan's work that's being done, the individuals are only puppets. You know, if he uses one person, God will use another person. So the individuals are not individuals, they're just instruments. We're all instruments of anything that's done in the world. So Bhagavan's presence is felt now as it was in 1950 when he shed his body. And it's those who he connects with. I say that we don't choose him, he chooses us. And those that have been chosen, they know there's a connection. So Bhagavan always said the Guru is within. He pulls you within. He's also without. He pushes you within. So the whole purpose is to go within. So that was Ramana Maharshi's main message, that we should turn within and realize who we are. And that guidance or direction or influence is just as now potent now as it was in 1950 when he left his body. So that's why people come here, that's why people are attracted to him. That's why I'm attracted to him. That's why maybe perhaps you came here. So that's the story of Ramana Maharshi. He continues today as he did, and when he was born in 1879, left the body in 1950. But the power and the presence is still there. And it's for those who want to know or have more peace in their lives, or realize some meaning and purpose, or to go beyond the cycle of birth and death, to turn to him, to find something of meaning and purpose and find out who they are. He can help, but you have to make the effort. You have to step up and dedicate your life to that ideal. So that's the whole purpose.
Bhagwan has only two teachings. One is total surrender to the will of God without any desire. The second one doesn't depend on surrender, but we have to find out who we are. And to do that, whenever we get any thought, whatever it may be, we do not complete that. Instead, try to look to see who is having this thought. The natural answer will be, I am having this thought. Then you counter that with an inner question as to who am I. Bhagwan's claim, as verified by many of his devotees, is when you persist in this, some higher power rises from within and starts guiding your activities. Slowly you are freed from the knowledge that you are an individual person acting on your own volition. You get to see that you are part of the whole and the whole does what it would. So this is in essence the teaching of Bhagwan.
எல்லா பொழுதிலும் எல்லா இடத்திலும் எல்லாமாய் என்னுள் இருப்பவனே உல்லாசமாய் உலாவும் ரமணா உனக்கே உனக்கே நமஸ்காரம்.
I first met Bhagwan on the 29th of September 1940, and I last met him in the first week of April 1950, a week before his death. During my first visit, a great man, Sir P.S. Swami Iyer, a wonderfully great man, I told him I was going. He said, don't go alone. Take somebody whom you like, to whom you are attached, take them. And so I took one old student, Subramaniam, one then student, Ismail, and my wife. So I went with this group of people. And for this, Shivaswami here is responsible. He told me he used to walk on Uttagaman, Nilgiri Hills. There's a place called Dodapetta, which is a steep precipice. From there, you can look into the abyss about 8,000 feet below. People like to look into it, look down, and in order not to fall, becoming giddy, they used to tie themselves up with a piece of rope. Somebody will hold the rope, and then you can look down. So he gave me this analogy and said, when you go to Bhagwan, you will swept off your feet. You will fall into the abyss.
I see.
And so be bound by attachment to some people. So I had 3 ropes. My wife, my students, very fine people. All of them were very good people. Many people went to him because they wanted their wishes fulfilled. Many people went to him because in their affliction they found consolation from him. Many people went to him with intellectual problems which he solved. So there are many, shall I say, demands on him, and he met them mostly.
Your life and your period of being with Bhagwan overlaps with the freedom struggle that India has experienced, and also you were actually part of the British Army. So during those 1945, 1947, where were you and what was your experience like, being an Indian but being a part of the British Army?
Yeah, but because although Mahatma Gandhi told us not to participate with British, but we had no other go. I'm from a very poor family and I want to learn something good. So the Britishers came from London, by boat, and they taught us about aeronautical engineering. I had a very good experience. Then I got my license here for aircraft maintenance engineer's license, and I had a very good job in Air India for 40 years. Now he has brought me here to America, where I get, without working, I get about $3,000 a month to live by myself. I don't know, I can't tell how faithful people are in going to Bhagwan and getting things done like me.
You must be doing many things right, because at 90, the sharpness of all your limbs, you see well, you talk well, and of course you think well, and your memory serves you so nicely too. So tell us, what are your habits which might be emulated by others to be so healthy and have such a long, happy life?
Yeah. And now I have learned from Bhagwan how to talk to animals with very good respect, and he will talk like talking to big people. He won't talk anything like talking to a small boy also. Even when I was talking when I was 18 years old, he used to talk so politely, and I learned a lot from Lord Ramana, and everything went on well so far in this life. I never thought I'll have such a good life, and all my brothers are all well.
உனக்கே நமஸ்காரம் உனக்கே நமஸ்காரம் உண்மை பரம் பொருளே ரமணா மனக்கண் விளக்கிடும் மகண்மணியே உனக்கே உனக்கே நமஸ்காரம் உனக்கே உனக்கே நமஸ்காரம்.
This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas.
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला
परम अरुणारविंद पदमे अरुणारविंद पदमे अरुणाचलत्तिलुरु करुणाकर परमल अरुणारविंद पदमे.
Bhagwan was our father, mother, our everything.
Share with us some more memories during those 10 years when you were face to face with him. And the first meeting that you mentioned, did you ask anything? And was he very, very talkative or very less talkative in general?
Yeah. Because I could not open I had a lot of questions in me to ask Bhagwan. First time I met. But when I saw Bhagwan, I could not open my mouth and ask. And he was answering all my questions, laughing at me and answering all my questions to others. Like Devaraja Madhyar was there, so he was a great lawyer. So he used to clear all my doubts through telling the answers to others without asking me what questions I have got in my mind.
And you saw him in person. Share with us something about the kind of voice that he had.
Yeah. He had a beautiful voice, and he will always talk very politely to not only to men, human beings, but also to all the animals, all kinds of animals. He like speaking to a great man like Sir, please excuse me, like that. He was so great. I never thought I'll have such an opportunity to see him, take his blessings, and live now. I'm asking him to take me away, but he's asked me to see good people here and do things. And I always keep on praying his name. During any time I get spare time, I don't waste my life now. I am very glad I have got a great opportunity to see Bhagavan and get his blessings.
He continues to attract sincere devotees to him from all over the world, as he lives not only in Sri Ramanashramam but in the hearts of all.
Talking about the purpose, it's very difficult sometimes to distinguish between the intensity of emotions and purity of devotion. So many times people shed tears, but it fails in bringing about some inner transformation. How would you say, based on your experience, the difference between devotion and emotion?
Well, from my experience, the difference between emotion and, what did you call it?
Devotion.
Devotion. That has nothing to do with me. I'm only interested in me, to know who I am, not to see what others are doing, whether they're doing right or wrong. That's all relative. Whatever is good for a person, what helps them turn their mind to God or to truth, that's good. Whatever it may be. If it's emotion, if it's a dedicated service, if it's sitting in meditation, reading books, going to lectures, their mind is being focused on that ideal. So that's what matters. But what matters for us is what matters to us. So we have to all take care of ourselves. The world and everything else will take care of itself.
So far as I am concerned, I went because, you see, in 1927, I had heard of him, I had read about him. Kavya Ganta came and spoke in my college. So I heard about Bhagwan. And many people have written to me. But at that time, I was a fool. And I said, what is this man sitting on top of a hill and doing nothing? Here is Gandhi. Then, in 1939-40, I passed through a series of very interesting experiences. One was, I read the poems of Bhagwan. I know something about poetry. English term, poetry is poetry. Poetry is the bridge between the actual phenomenal and the ultimate real. Now, when I read Bhagwan's poems, I said, good heavens, the man who inspired this kind of poetry is divine. Number one, that moved me completely. Bhagwan completely converted me. Next thing that happened was that I had a very terrible domestic problem. A niece of mine had broken away from her husband and various things happened. Good people, all good people. And I did not know what to do. I didn't want them to quarrel. They're both good people, but they parted, they married again, that's another story. You take it casually in America, we don't. So this thing happened. Then various things of the... most important of all, I used to spend my vacations in Bangalore. Now during that vacation, that is April 1940, a famous Pandit, Sanskrit Pandit, great Sanskrit Pandit, systematically taught me the Brahma Sutras. Then I could see that behind this apparent laziness of Bhagwan was something very profound. And that man said, this is not pure theory. You go to Tirunamala, you see the man. So when a brigade scholar told me Bhagwan is. Another very interesting thing was, you must have heard about Douglas Ainsley. Douglas Ainsley. He came to Madras. I was in Presidency College. I took him around because I'm myself a great admirer of Dante and Croce, Benedetto Croce, philosophy of the aesthetic, practical history. He was a great favorite of mine. And he knew Croce personally and he translated. And so after I spent a week with him, taking him to various places and so on, he casually asked me, have you seen Maharshi? Now here is it. The Englishman steeped in Italian philosophy, telling me about Raman. So I said, I should be ashamed. I was ashamed. Then I reported, you saw me, I like to go. He said, don't go by yourself. Tie yourself in many bonds. Then I did. I'm still tied up. I have the courage to run away from her. You see, many people tell me, go to the Himalayas. Bhagwan is here. So all these things, so to say, compelled me. And all my problems are solved in 5 minutes. As I say again and again, in his presence, I felt like a little baby in its mother's lap. How to explain this? Just happiness, no intellectual troubles.
This wonderful place wherein people who want to connect or feel some inner calling to connect to Bhagwan Raman Maharshi and to the wonderful wealth of knowledge in the form of books consisting of lectures and other experiences of devotees related to his life. They are available here. Now you have been instrumental in making it happen. Was it consciously planned, or you were just a witness seeing things happening? Again, there is a difference between planning and witnessing. So there is a sort of state of flux on these issues. What has been your experience? Because you were not primarily from the land where Bhagwan in this form appeared, so there must have been some forces that pulled you towards him and all that.
So that force is God's force. And I have no ambition personally to make buildings, to have meditation centers, to give lectures, or to enlighten people. That happens spontaneously in His presence. There's no specific plan. We go day by day. We believe in what's going to happen will happen. That's all in the hands of the divine. Our job is just to keep still and to dedicate or focus our mind on who we are, on the self, to center our mind. That's our purpose. Everything else takes place automatically. So if we take care of the reason for which we're here on earth, we don't have to worry about everything else. That'll happen spontaneously. That's not really important. What's important is that we find out who we are, realize the truth, and free ourselves. Then only we can be helpful to others.
Our being connects us with a sense of peace and tranquility, and the question as to who you are is most significant one, and this helps you in arriving at the basic of your existence in a way that you can stay unruffled and you can cross over all the apparent obstacles or troubles by being clear about your true self. That is in one way what we learn from the life of Bhagwan, who used to look, laugh, smile, and through his compassionate gaze people derive strength and solace even till today. Thank you for being with us. This is Ashok Vyas saying goodbye from today's Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas.